Oh boy. It's going down right now on 99 Pod on God because we got a topic that we want to discuss right here. And this was a topic that I have been looking forward to. The midseason MVP. We're going to give you three. All right, our top three in order of guys who we feel as I'm getting the call. We're going to give y'all our midseason MVPs right now. And Zach, I want to start this off, right? Because I got a list for you. Now, before I even get to my list, I would say my criteria for my list is as follows. I always want to be clear with my criteria because I don't want antennas going up. The way how I judge MVP in football in the NFL is different from how I judge it in the NBA, right? I am not necessarily looking at the best player on the best team and saying that's my MVP. How I judge MVP is I'm looking at the term value, right? And value to your team. Because if you're not the MVP on your team, how could you be the MVP of the league? So if you were to be subtracted from that team, you would not be where your record is today. And how good your record is right now, it would not be there if you were subtracted. So I want to make that very clear. In the NBA, yeah, I would probably choose the best player on the best team because you could actively, perform on both sides. You play offense and defense. If you have the best team right now, chances are you have all the components to be successful. You have a top-level wide receiver. You have a good coach. You have a good defense. So, yeah, chances are that's the reason why you are the best team in the NFL, along with your play. So, with that being said, at number 3, this was tough. This was a last-minute switch. I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson at number 3. I actually moved Lamar Jackson in this spot. I had one person here that I'm going to move. And I'm going to talk about that person right now. And that's Jalen Hurts. I have him at number 4, right at that echelon trying to get in. And the reason why I made that last second substitution was because when I look at Lamar Jackson with the lack of weapons they have, if he was subtracted from the Ravens, they will not be nowhere remotely close to where they are right now. Think about it. Think of the off seasons for these two teams. Okay, cool. Let's take it from the top. Jalen Hurts, you get A.J. Brown. You get players on defense. We're going to build around you in the offseason and during the season. Lamar Jackson, okay, cool. We're going to remove Marquise Brown from you, okay? Rashard Bateman is going to get hurt, okay? So you don't have that much to work with. Let me see if you work the bag. Go out there and play, Lamar Jackson. Go ahead and run because I'm setting you up the field because I don't want to pay you, okay? So go ahead. Oh, wow. We actually are winning games still and could be one of the premier teams in the AFC. That's why Lamar Jackson is ahead because he can take over the game with his legs. He can take over the game with his arm from the pocket as well. And Lamar Jackson, he'll have his moments where I look and I say, you know what? That could be the best player in football, right? I don't obviously think that, but in moments, I say that guy is the best guy in the game. That's why he's number 3 for me. No shots at Jalen Hurts. I'm pretty sure he's going to be in a lot of people's top 3. He's improving his mechanics, everything, accuracy going up. He's worthy to be in my top 3, but I think Lamar Jackson is more valuable to his team. And peep the wordplay, more valuable to his team, and that's why he's number 3 for me. Josh Allen is not in this list. 4 interceptions in 6 quarters. That literally removed him from top 2 echelons on mine previously last week to being out. At number 2, I'm going to go with Geno. Whoa, Geno. I'm going to go with my guy, Eugene Serial Geno Smith Jr. Okay, I'm going to go with him. And the reason why I'm going to go with him is because of the efficiency. The offense is very efficient. That's another team that I really didn't have lofty expectations for. When I said the Seahawks in the offseason, I was thinking probably a second worst record behind the Chicago Bears. Okay, and the fact of the matter is Geno has been playing good. You look at his numbers, he's top 5 in every category, and he's leading the league in completion percentage, which is 72.7%. He's doing this with strict command of the offense. He knows the offense. He's moving it well, way better than Russell Wilson and what he was doing last year. I think Geno Smith is my second most valuable player. They may just win this division. I like the 49ers. I'm high on the 49ers, but Seattle was really making a case to win the division, and that's primarily because of Geno Smith's play. Any other quarterback there, I don't think they succeed. I got him at number 2. At number 1, this is going to shock you, right? Because it's like, there's no Jalen Hurts. You already listed him, or you already said Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, right? Who is number 1? I got you right now. I'm going to go with Tyreek Hill as my most valuable player in the NFL. And I'm saying that with confidence, okay? Let's talk about it as I pull up the numbers right here because there's a lot of numbers. And before I get to those numbers, I want to make this very clear. We all know the most valuable position on the football field is quarterback. But I think this offseason has shown us how valuable wide receivers are today. When you talk about the A.J. Brown, the Devontae Adams getting paid, the Debos of the world, the A.J. Browns, I said it already, a lot of guys got paid. And that's showing you that just like how Stephon Diggs went to the Bills and Josh Allen took this next leap, just like how A.J. Brown went to the Eagles and Jalen Hurts takes this next leap, it's showing you that a top-level receiver is very valuable to a quarterback's development. And it's showing face right now with Tua Tagovailoa. Because honestly, when you talk about his numbers, he's leading the league in catches, right? Catching yards, 1,104, the most by any player in his first 9 games in the Super Bowl era, which is on pace for 2,000 yards. Think about this stat for a second. It's not about the stat. It's not about he's about to make 2,000 yards. It's about who's throwing him the football. Think about that. This is not Matthew Stafford throwing to Calvin Johnson. This is not Patrick Mahomes throwing to Tyreek Hill anymore. This is not Tom Brady throwing to Randy Moss. This is Tua Tagovailoa throwing him the ball. And a lot of people said, oh, he don't got arm strength, which he doesn't. Okay? He going to underthrow Tyreek Hill, which he does. But yet, my man Tyreek Hill is about to reach 2,000 yards on this pace. Let that marinate for a second before I proceed. I want everybody to take that in. Musa, breathe it in. Yes, with Tua Tagovailoa. And that's why Tyreek Hill is my number one. Because even when he's not making a play, he's making a play for the other guy. Guys are eating off of Tyreek Hill's plate, right? When Tua Tagovailoa got subbed out because of the concussion, with Teddy B, 6 receptions, he finished the game with over 100 yards. No matter who's his quarterback, he's putting up numbers. That's value, and that's why he's number one. So to recap my list, at number 3, I got Lamar Jackson. At number 2, I got Geno Smith. And number 1, and I'm saying it with a straight face, I got Tyreek Hill.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll react to that. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm really kind of upset, Real, because you took one of mine. But that's all right. Zach, were you gonna go or?
No, all you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So my number 3 would be Tyreek Hill. Because I said it at the beginning of the year, I said it in the off season. Real, your friend,
Right?
Raw Mind Sports.
Yeah.
Raw Mind Sports, his jaw dropped when I said it. But I meant it when I said it, and that is Devontae Adams is not an elite wide receiver, and I still believe it. And I think that Tyreek is the elite wide receiver in the NFL because Tyreek got sent to Miami, and everybody laughed at Tyreek when Tyreek said, "Nah, Tua's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, I can flow with Tua. I can do this with Tua." And now he's out there doing it, and he's making it work, and he's going up, and he's making plays the same that he did with Patrick Mahomes, but he's doing it with Tua. And he's making Tua look like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now. And it's absolutely amazing. It's the best. I mean, I don't do magic shows. I like my fantasy as much as I like my Star Wars, and that's on the TV, and that's it. But Tyreek Hill is going out there and Houdini and all of us because I believe that Tua is a top quarterback in the NFL, and I can't believe it. But that's because Tyreek Hill has done his Jedi mind trick on me. He has given me the Chris Angel treatment, and that's what it is. I that's odd to go, oh, I got a wide receiver as my MVP. So that's why Tyreek is at 3. My 1 and 2 aren't going to surprise anybody. It's real bland. It's real boring. I only like salt and pepper as my seasoning. That's it. So it's about as far as I'm going to go with the MVP. Number 2, Lamar Jackson, because he is carrying that Baltimore Ravens team. I said that Lamar Jackson should win or should be in contention for the MVP in week 3 when he was playing the Miami Dolphins, and he blew that lead. Not he, but the Ravens blew that lead because the defense went out there and they couldn't hold it down. They couldn't stop them. And Lamar's just like, yo, I carried you guys. What more do you want? And number one shouldn't shock anybody. It's Patrick Mahomes all day, every day. It's not a question. It's not up for debate. I'll fight you, your mom, and your dog. If you ain't got a dog, I'll buy you a dog and I'll fight it. Because you're not going to convince me otherwise. There's nobody I'd rather have with the game on the line and less than a minute on the clock. You can have them all. Brett, Tom, all of them. You can take them all. And I'll take Pat Mahomes all day. All day. It doesn't matter. And that's all there is to it. It doesn't matter if Tyreek's on the field or not. It doesn't matter if Travis Kelce's on the field or not. He's out there making plays to whoever. Some bum that got signed. Look, Juju Smith-Schuster. Oh my God, he's relevant again. Juju ain't been relevant
since don't do him like that.
Since he was on a Madden cover. Knock that off. But Patrick Mahomes has done something that nobody else could do, and that was the last quarterback that took Kansas City to an AFC championship was Joe Montana in 1993 against the Tennessee Oilers. That's it. And Patrick Mahomes did it. Took him to the AFC championship, was one handprint away from going to the Super Bowl that year. And that was D Ford, and we got him out of there. And then we beat him next year in the Super Bowl against them. 4 straight AFC championships. It's not a question. It's not up for debate. Patrick Mahomes is unanimously the MVP of the league, not just the AFC, the league.
Wow, yeah. So tough act to follow there. Great list by the both of you. Yeah, let's get into it. So I'm actually going to go with the same guy as Chase for number 3. I will put Tyreek Hill as my number 3 option for MVP. And Lil, everything you said was true. I've been really impressed with the impact Tyreek Hill has made in Miami. And I'm not going to lie, like, it was a very interesting decision for him to want out of Kansas City. And I know that the Chiefs didn't feel like they didn't want to pay him the big bucks, the elite wide receiver bucks. They didn't want to give him that Devontae Adams contract. And when the Chiefs are paying Patrick Mahomes a lot of money, that's understandable. He's going to be able to make other guys better like he's doing this year. But from Tyreek's perspective, I'm never going to blame someone for wanting more money in any situation, but I just thought the whole offseason, like, I didn't mind him standing up for Tua, but the way it came off, like how aggressive it was, I didn't love just like how much news it made. And obviously, like, it's been really impressive how much of an impact he's had. And the one thing I noticed, like, when I'm watching Tyreek Hill, it's really, really cool and impressive to see how hard he plays. And I feel like that's rubbing off on everyone else in the Dolphins locker room. You have a Super Bowl champion that's been to 4 straight AFC championship games when really the Miami Dolphins franchise has not won anything in the past 20 years. They are still waiting for a playoff win. They're hoping they get it this year, but they have not won a playoff game in a long time. Stephen Ross is one of the biggest jokes in the NFL, but Tyreek Hill has come into that locker room and immediately you see the impact he's made. It's really impressive. I totally agree with Chase when he said the only reason why he's at 3, it's just pretty unprecedented for a wide receiver to ever win MVP. Part of my criteria in this is being as realistic as possible. If all of our criteria for MVP are going to be different, it's going to be whatever we prefer, but we all have background of what the NFL and these voters are going by. And that's kind of what I did for my list. I just wanted to be as realistic as possible. And even with that, a wide receiver does deserve to be in the top 3. I'll have Tyreek Hill at number 3. I'm actually going to have Patrick Mahomes at number 2 in my MVP rankings. And it's crazy because everything you said about him also, Chase, I agree 100%. I didn't expect this Kansas City offense to fall off that much without Tyreek Hill. Obviously, they miss him a little bit, but the only difference is they still score a lot. They just don't score as quickly. And sometimes that's a good thing when you could keep the offense off the field as much as possible, the other teams, because I think that's been a problem sometimes with Kansas City in the past. Their defense has just not been able to match or come anywhere close to the offense. But I actually think the defense is getting better. They have some guys I like on that unit. I trust Steve Spagnuolo. So yeah, Kansas City's been really impressive. Mahomes loses Tyreek Hill. The Chiefs are still the highest scoring offense in the league. And it's funny because when the Chiefs are down double-digit points, like, you still feel pretty comfortable. Mahomes' winning percentage when he's down double digits is better than most quarterbacks overall. The fact that the Chiefs still found a way to win that game the other night was impressive. They clearly didn't have it. Mahomes didn't even play great the whole night, but in the last drive when he needed to most, he makes a big play on 3rd and 18. I'm not really sure how many other quarterbacks in the league would have been able to just run for the first down like that. And it's funny because Mahomes isn't when you think of the best runners in the league, you rarely think of him. You're going to think of Jalen Hurts and Kyler and Lamar Jackson. And Mahomes isn't as athletic or as fast as those guys per se, but he's just as effective. He just gets the job done as a runner. And I trust his instincts. It's really impressive to see. And at the end of the day, especially with this possible Josh Allen injury, it's looking like the road to the Super Bowl in the AFC could go through Arrowhead Stadium again, and I wouldn't love that for anyone not named Kansas City. So I will have Patrick Mahomes as my number 2 option for MVP. And my number 1 option for MVP, I'll say this. I am never just going to give away the MVP automatically to the best player on the best team. You know, you have to do other things. But when I watch Jalen Hurts right now, my eyes tell me that he's the best player, the best quarterback in the NFL. And I know overall, if I'm ranking a quarterback list, he wouldn't be number 1. But this season and this season alone, he has been the best quarterback in the league, in my opinion. He's 8-0, his team is overall. He has a 68% completion percentage, which is 6th. That's a little low. But he also has 2,000 yards passing, which is in the top 5. 12 passing touchdowns, only has 2 interceptions. He has 6 rushing touchdowns, which is the most among quarterbacks. He's 5th in QBR. That's top 5. 3rd in rushing yards per game. He's the MVP, in my opinion. And again, I'm not just going to automatically give out MVP to the best player on the best team. But when you're in the MVP conversation overall, that winning is something, in my opinion, that should put you over the top. It's not going to automatically put you in there, but it's something that when it's close, when there's some close margins, that's going to put you over the top, in my opinion. And I'm just so impressed with how much he loves football, how much he improved, how much he got better, how much everyone in that locker room loves him. His coach even said in an interview, there's no one more I trust right now than Jalen Hurts. And I'm just so impressed with this Eagles team. I think they're going to be in the Super Bowl. I know it's only week 9. A lot of things could change, but I picked it before the season. They've clearly been the best team in the NFC and really in the NFL, in my opinion. And I know that Jalen Hurts is unproven in the playoffs. He's going to have to win some big games that we have no idea if this Eagles team, if they're even going to be able to rise up to the occasion. I have no idea what Nick Sirianni is going to do in a big game. But right now, there's no one more I trust than Jalen Hurts. He's having the best season, and he would be my MVP. So to recap, I would have Hurts 1, Mahomes 2, Tyreek Hill 3.
I want to respond to some of y'all lists before we leave here. I would start off with Zach, since he just finished. You know, the Jalen Hurts, I can't argue with anybody that has him number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right? If he's outside of the 5, then, you know, I don't know what you're watching, but I think Zach made himself clear, and I can't really argue at what his eyes is telling him. Listen, we probably don't see the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people are colorblind, or some people, their eyes just literally tell them something else. And I got to respect that. And if Zach eyes is telling him that he's the best, you know, quarterback right now, then I have to respect that. And like I said, you can't go wrong 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You know, I just think when it comes to the Tyreek Hill debate, and I see the fear, right, in a lot of y'all eyes, in the sense that, you know, you, Chase, you even said that you put him number 3, you know, because, you know, wide receivers are not going to get that award. Zach, you even said, you know, that you want to be realistic because, you know, he's not going to get the award. That's why we do this. It's because in all actuality, we don't have a vote. We can't vote in real life to give anybody an award. But what we can do is use our show to kind of say who we think. And that's the difference with media like ours and mainstream. Mainstream is supposed to have the same opinions. Oh, this guy's going to win. But if your eyes, my eyes, is telling me that Tyreek Hill is the most valuable player in the NFL, and I really do feel that way. Like, I really feel, and it took me a minute, but like I came on board. No matter who is his quarterback, Alex Smith, Mahomes. He was cooking up before Mahomes. He was cooking up during Mahomes. And he's cooking up after Mahomes. He's showing me. Like Devontae Adams went to the Raiders. And even though Devontae Adams is not having a bad season this year, it's not what it was with Aaron Rodgers. Like Tyreek Hill is showing he is probably the best wide receiver in the league. He's the most explosive wide receiver in the league. And I cannot say he's not going to get the award and me not give it to him. Like, nah, that's who my eyes is telling me is the MVP. And I'm sticking by that. But I respect everybody else's list. I went ahead with Mahomes number 1, but that's an opinion. I would have probably put Mahomes, if y'all wondering, probably 4 or 5. I believe I had Jalen Hurts 4. Mahomes will round out the 5 for me. Josh Allen will be 6 because of those interceptions and turning the ball over. And the one thing, and I end here, and then anybody else got any last words. The one thing I'll say about Jalen Hurts, though, Zach, and I would give Jalen Hurts this credit, he hasn't been turning the ball over. Like some of these quarterbacks, they have occasional turnovers. He's protected the football for the most part, and that's very commendable. But yeah, Zach, any last words? Chase, Zach?
I'll just say this. I think Tyreek Hill's going to win Offensive Player of the Year, and I think Geno Smith, for all the reasons you said, is going to win Comeback Player of the Year. So I don't think either of those guys are going to go home empty-handed. Yeah, on the trophy case. So, yeah, and just one more thing I'll say. Vegas right now, they do have Patrick Mahomes as the favorite to win MVP at plus 200. Josh Allen at second at plus 225, so they still believe in him. Jalen Hurts at third at plus 250. Lamar Jackson in fourth at plus 900. And I'll look for Tyreek Hill here. He is currently 12th, the highest ranked.
No love for the wide receivers. It's a quarterback award, and I wish everybody came out and said that, because at least if they come out and be honest about what it really is, a quarterback award, we will be like, all right, which quarterback is going to win MVP, because there's only a quarterback who could win it.